while I was in the restroom, I heard the bus like honking. So I quickly hurried it up, and then I went out, and in front of me was our driver. And then when he saw me, he started scolding me. He was like, "Oh, where have you been since? This and that." And I was so embarrassed, guys. I was like, sorry. And he was like, going to the bus, and I'm like, anyway, long story short, the trip ended up lasting for 30 hours. Damn! I got down, normally you take a walk.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just...
Hello chicos, and guys, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cynthia here. If you're new here, my first video tells you about me, so go check that out. Link's gonna be up or in the description. And if you're a subscriber, thanks a lot for sticking around. Love you guys so much. That being said, guys, for short, my channel is about my experience and everything that I go through life. Currently I'm in Russia, so I feel about my experience and adventures here. And if that's something you guys enjoy watching, then be sure to hit and smash the subscribe button and come along, let's have fun together. That being said, guys, let's get into that video. So guys, for today's video, I plan to film, so basically right next to my school is like a very huge park, or a very big and long park. And right now they just renovated the park into a very nice, nice looking park basically. So I saw it and I was like, this would be nice to film, a couple of videos. And so I decided to film one of the videos that I've been planning to film, and that's like a story time. So yeah, I decided to come and check out the park and how the lighting and the sound is going to be in the park. So that's where I am right now. So I'm going to give you guys a tour of the park, and it's really cute. Like, I'm going to give you guys a tour. So yeah.
I'm losing myself tonight. Losing myself, I'm losing myself tonight. With your love, with your love, I'm losing myself, I'm losing myself tonight. Losing myself, I'm losing myself tonight. With your love, I'm losing myself. I'm losing myself tonight.
So guys, I decided to film here. Alright, so basically today's video, once again, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a story time about my trip to Moscow, basically. Yeah, so in the previous vlogs I shared with you guys my adventures in Moscow. Hope you guys have seen those vlogs. If you haven't, I'm going to link it up again, but make sure you guys check it out. But basically in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys kind of like the other not so happy things that happened basically while I was going to Moscow and while I was in Moscow. That is the trip and my stay in Moscow. I'm going to share the experience with you guys because a lot of annoying things that happened, I just feel like, I want to share my burden with you guys, you understand? So yeah, I hope you guys stick around, get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and popcorn or whatever you need, and let's get into it. All right, so story number one. So on the like Friday to the Monday, like the Friday before the Monday I was meant to travel to Moscow. That was where it all started. So on Friday was when I went to my school to extend my visa. So I wanted to just do it before leaving for Moscow, and I've been busy the previous day because of like preparation for the trip and stuff like that. So that Friday I was going to go and get it done, and then Monday I'll leave for Moscow. So Friday when I got there, and usually how the process is done, like it has always been like that, was that you give your documents to the school and then they'll get your visa renewed, and then you come back like in weeks or months later for it, and that was the process. So that was what I had in mind was going to happen. And then I got to the administration on Friday, handed in my documents, and peace out, see you when my visa is ready and stuff like that. Only for the person in charge to tell me, yeah, so you're gonna have to take your documents by yourself to the migration office and get your visa. And I'm like,
What? What the?
I was like, where did this happen? I'm like, but you usually do that all this while. You're like, yes, it's a new policy. Now students are going to be doing that themselves and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. When can I get this done? Like, can I get it done like when I'm back? They're like, oh no, your visa is expiring soon, so you need to get it done like ASAP. And I'm like,
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just keep.
My bus ticket on the Monday was in the morning, was around 11 in the morning, and I'm like, 11 in the morning, that means I only have, say, about, if I leave my hostel like 8 o'clock, I have like max 2 hours 30 minutes, because I have to obviously be at the bus stop like say 30 minutes to an hour before the departure. And the bus stop was kind of like far, just far from our hostel basically. I have to like take a bus or a taxi, like that'll take time to get there. Still I have to then go to this migration office again and get all this. I don't even know how the process is going to do. I don't know how long the process is going to be, like when they get my documents, like how long it will take for them to process it. And I'm like, what if I end up missing my bus? Oh gosh. Anyway, that was the least I could do, right? Like I already booked my tickets, and now it seems I also have to get this visa extended as soon as possible before leaving to Moscow. So the only time I had was that 3 hours interval or 2 hours interval between the early mornings and when I leave for my for my bus trips basically. So I was like, what I think I can do, I just have to wake up extra early, get to my migration office, pray the process doesn't take long, get it done, and then head to the bus stop. So that was what happened. Monday came and I to the migration office. What I did was like I booked a taxi, and I was like, okay, so you take me to the migration office, and then from the migration office to the Vexal. And I was still praying it doesn't take long, right? So we got to the office, and there wasn't a queue. I had to like beg them that please, like I need to go in now. So by God's grace, they were able to allow me go in earlier, and I submitted my documents, and something else happened. So while I was preparing the day before, like for some weird reason, I took my passport, I had all my documents except a particular card we called a dactyloscopy card, which it's a new policy that came up that, oh, for instance, should make this card and stuff like that. So we had made it, but it's not often required anywhere, literally just make it just for official process. And I didn't think it was going to be important because I'm traveling to Moscow, and in Moscow they ask for maybe your student card or your passport, not really ask for that philosophy. So I didn't want to take it initially, but then I was like, I don't know, it was as if the Holy Spirit was telling me, just take it, like just take it. And to the glory of God, I listened and I took it. And guess what? At the migration office, after I'd already packed all my bag leaving, I packed it all to the migration office. It was in the taxi, but I packed it to the migration office, and I gave them all my documents, passports, everything. They were like, the dactyloscopy please. And I'm like, what? I was like, so if I didn't take this thing, that's how I have to go back to the hostel, and I'll obviously have missed my bus. I'm like, God is good. God is good. Like, God is good. I was so happy. Like, I gave it to them, did the process. Luckily, the process didn't take too long, and I finished, and then I came back, and by the grace of God, the taxi was waiting because I took longer than I told the taxi man I wasn't going to take long, but I ended up taking longer than I had promised. So I was scared he had already left and he brought my bag and kept on the stairs or something. I don't know. So I even ran. And then if you guys watch the vlog, you see I was running back to the taxi. So by grace of God, I got to the taxi and he was still there. He was a very nice man. He then took me from the migration office. I think I even still had like an hour to spare. I was so happy. So he took me from the migration office to the bus stop and I was able to meet my boss, and I was very happy basically. So while booking my trip to Moscow, I looked at the site, and it was either a bus or a train, because right now flights are not working because of like the condition and everything that is happening right now in Russia. So I decided to go by bus because train takes much longer. Although it's kind of slightly more comfortable, but it takes more longer, and I just didn't want to spend that like a long amount of time on the road. So I decided to go by bus. And then I was checking up or looking up tickets that I can, book. And I saw a lot of them were like a day and a couple of hours, a day and a couple of hours. And that of train was like a day and even more hours. And people already told me that you can't find any trip less than a day, that it's 24 hours. And then while I was looking, I stumbled upon one particular ticket that said 18 hours. 18 hours. I was like, oh my God! Wow! Shut up. 18 hours. I was so happy. I was like, what? 18 hours? Oh my gosh. I literally booked it ASAP. But it was kind of like because on tickets you have like, the most expensive and then the cheapest. So the cheapest kind of like would take a long time, like the flight will be a long period, and then the most expensive would be like a short time. So that 18 hours was like the most expensive. And it wasn't like that much different, and it wasn't like expensive, okay? So you guys don't go out there thinking like this, I'm more rich or anything. But anyway, I basically booked it, and looking forward to my 18 hours journey. I entered the bus, or I boarded the bus, and I went away on my trip. And then when it was the appointed time, like when 18 hours later, it was the appointed time that we were meant to reach Moscow, at least according to the time, the flight time. And the bus driver was like, then he made a stop, this rest stop that they will make now. So the bus driver stopped, and I was like, oh my God, are we in Moscow? They were like, no, Moscow is still a couple of hours away. I'm like, say what now? Oh, why do you be a couple of hours away? It's been 18 hours on the road. Like I've been on the road for 18 hours, and you tell me that I was still not reach Moscow. Like why? The ticket said 18 hours. I started asking questions, and then they were like, and then the driver was like, oh, so because the bridge is not working, he has to follow like another longer route, this and that. Just give me so many stories, and I'm like, okay, so how long is it going to take at the end of the day? They told me it's going to take an extra 18 hours, 36. It took like, they told like going to take like the next, like if it was 6 p.m, arrive the next 6 p.m. And I'm like, wait, so anyway, long story short, the trip ended up lasting for 30 hours. Damn! A day and 6 hours. The cheapest ticket wasn't even up to that. Commercial break. Anyway, so back from that little unfortunate microphone incident, commercial break, and so basically, as I was saying, I guess I have to be checking time and time again to make sure it doesn't go off. It randomly went off and I didn't know why. Anyway, so the journey ended up taking 30 hours, a day and 6 hours, much more than the cheaper one, and I was so pissed. Like, I don't even know. I wanted to get a refund, but like I didn't even know how I was going to start to go around getting the refund, because I know they'll definitely give me the story of, oh, it was an unavoidable problem, this and that. Like I just mentally was not even ready to deal with that. Like I was upset, but I was just thank God for the safe journey, I guess. So I guess the good news from that bad news was that, regardless of the extra amount of time that we spent on the road, there was still no bad reports. Like there was still no bad news, no bad road incidences, there was no accidents, the car didn't break down. There's so many things that could have happened during that long period of time, but still God led me safely to Moscow. So thank you to God for that. And yeah, that's that. So by the way, I changed my AirPods, so you might notice the change in the sound, because the microphone, like they block out surrounding sounds, but then my voice is not that loud. but this, my voice is kind of like very audible, but then you can still hear the background noise as well. So I don't know, let's see how this turns out for this part of the video. So yeah, regarding my seats in the bus, that is my booked seats, my pre-booked seats, the seat that I booked while I was, you know, paying online, or while I was booking the tickets online. That seat, yes, that one that the system reserves for those that paid for it. That seat, I booked my ticket. After booking my ticket, I picked a particular seat. So like, luckily on the ticket site it shows the bus and the arrangement of the seats, so you know which side of the bus you want to sit in. So I picked a particular window seat, and I was like, okay, at least it's going to be nice. I'm a YouTuber, I'll get to vlog, like, you know, the journey, like surroundings and stuff like that. I was happy. And that was how I got to the bus, the fateful day, the morning of the departure, and showed the driver my ticket, like, okay, you know, paid for, you know, let me go inside my bus and sit inside my seat. Only for the driver to tell me he's not understanding my ticket. Like in Ruski, it's not like it's in English, it's in your language. If you're not understanding, who will understand? It's in it's your boss, it's your ticket. He was like, he's not understanding the ticket, I should wait. He pushed me aside, I should wait. I didn't want to think about racism or anything. I said, okay, just some technical difficulties. He put me aside, I should wait. And then almost, like literally everybody else entered the bus. And then he came back to me, and then he now called somebody else. Both of them looked at my ticket together, and then they figured it out. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they said the issue was. Kind of like maybe all the tickets were sold out, but then the system still picked up my purchase, you understand? So like they just wrote my name like on the list with biro like under, and then asked me to go and sit down, maybe extra money for them or something. I was like, okay. I entered, right, and I saw my seat was occupied. No, on the list he wrote a different seat number, and I was like, oh, why are you writing a different seat number? Like seat number 20, why are you writing seat number 38? And then he was like, I should just go and sit down there, like there's no other space in the bus. And I'm like, okay. I entered, and then I looked, and apparently one other man was already sitting there, one other Russian man was already sitting there, and I don't know whether he paid more or maybe he got there for, I don't even know what even happened, because it's a system. I didn't book with somebody, I booked on a system, right? The system shows the available seats and the unavailable seats, and I saw that this seat was available, and I booked it, and you guys signed it on my, like, you gave it to me, allotted it to me, right? It was even on my tickets there, seat 20. Only for me to get there, you tell me I should sit in seat 38, and seat 38 was like the middle row, like the edge. It wasn't the window seats. I was like, I was pissed, bro. Like, I'm like, what now? What is it? What did I do to you? What did I do to you? Did they send you to me? I just, you know, so when things like that happen, I just try not to allow it to disturb me too much. I just left the whole thing. I went to sit down on the 38. At least they're not, you know, declining me from going on this journey, you understand? So I sat on the 38. I was sad, but along the line I discovered like some good things, actually a lot of good things that came from me being on that middle seat. It's getting chilly, that's why I'm shivering a bit, guys. Anyway, so yeah, so the good news, I guess you could pick from that bad news, was that the middle seat had like easier access to the charging ports. If you guys look at the video, I showed you guys like the charging ports, and you could see like it's located kind of like at the edge, like towards the middle rather than towards the window. So those in the window have to stretch, like their cord has to be long enough basically to reach. Why me, it's just like directly up. I just, you know, have to connect it here. Like, it was very nice. I got to, you know, build my phone and stuff and charge and all of that. That was one good thing. And that good thing was it was closer to the edge. So like I had like the walkway when the bus like is in motion, that is, and no one's walking up and down. I had like the walkway for like extra luggage space. You understand? So that was another good thing. And the third good thing that happened was like that same hallway, the seats, the handle, it has like a handle, right? The seats at the edge, they have like this little handle. So that handle really helped me for like support, and I was also like for sleep as well. Like I was able to put my legs on the handle, and then I was able to like lean, and so it was kind of way comfortable than my seatmates who was by the window. They had more trouble sleeping because like he's kind of restricted, while me, I had like more leg space, more room, you understand? So I mean, I guess you could say that was kind of a good thing. Like, you know, God was able to provide, like, make me have that seat so I could be more comfortable with my journey. I was thinking about something, but I guess God had other plans, so it was good. Like, that made me not to, you know, be that much sad about it. But still those people those should have like better policies regards to things like that. Like it's a website, it's a computer. Like why would they make that kind of mistake? Like they should get that checked, please. Oh my gosh, guys, check out this view. I'm so excited. Like this is so nice. Oh my gosh, I'm happy I decided to film here. Oh, I'm so happy. Hope you guys enjoy like this content. Like, you know, comment down below if you want me to film more in this kind of background for you guys, because I know you guys love it, and I love it for you, and I love it for me, and I love it for us. So anyway, into the video. All right, so the next thing that happened on the journey was in between the journey, right, when we were going. So as I said, the bus makes like stops, and at one of the stops it made, I got down. You know, normally you take a walk or
God, please, no! 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 No!
so my mic just died on me again, and this time around it didn't want to turn back on. So thankfully I have this backup mic, and I don't know why this video doesn't want to be filmed today. All these things that are happening, I don't understand, but guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. YouTubers are trying, believe me. Those YouTubers that you see, they are filming, oh, good lighting, good sound, everything. It didn't just come like this. So please appreciate videos of YouTubers that are really that are putting content out there. It's not easy, basically. But anyway, it's getting dark now, so let me just quickly, you know, move it along. So anyway, where was I? Yeah. So the bus stopped at one of its rest stops, and I, you know, came out to have like a walk or to use the restroom. So I did that, and I came back, and I heard like no, while I was in the restroom, I heard the bus like honking, and I'm like, for some reason I just felt like that it was honking for me, like the bus was honking for me, and I was like, okay, I need to hurry things up. So I quickly, like, you know, hurried it up, and then I went out, and in front of me was our driver. Our bus driver was already coming towards like the restroom, was coming to find me, and then when he saw me, he started scolding me. He was like, oh, where have you been since? Like, just know, like we're working with time, this and that. And I was like, I was so embarrassed, guys. I was like, sorry, I didn't know this and that. He was like, going to the bus, and I'm like, oh my god, it was so embarrassing. That was the first rest stop. Literally the next rest stop, it happened again. But luckily, something good that happened, right, was that I had given my number to a lady in the bus previously, right, before the bus like started like making stops. I don't know, like I feel like the Holy Spirit just told me to give my number, because it's something that I literally have never done, but for some reason I felt it was necessary to do that on that trip. So I had given my number to a lady on the trip that, please, in case anything happens, maybe like I missed, for example, I didn't know this was going to happen. I was like, oh, in case I happen to miss the bus, or maybe I'm running late, you give me a call. And then she was like, fine. And that was what saved me the second time the bus had a stop. The second time the bus had a stop, I think I came out but I couldn't find the bus or something. And then I was like, okay, what's going on? They finally left me. And then she called me, and then I found her, and then she was like, I asked her, okay, where is the bus? And something like that, and she showed me where the bus was, because I think the bus was about leaving, and I was looking for the bus up and down. So if I hadn't given this lady my number, maybe this would have been a different vlog. How I got lost, I was stranded in nowhere. But thanks to God, that's not the vlog that we're filming right now. And let this also be a lesson for you guys. When you're going on trips like this, try to give somebody your number, especially if you're traveling alone. Give somebody in the bus your number, so in case of anything, they can call you. Because I think another stop, wasn't me, that was all for me, but on that stop, another lady, an old lady, kind of like, I don't know what happened, but they couldn't find her for like almost 10-20 minutes, and no one like had a number to call her. So the bus driver was getting upset, wanted to leave, but they were like, oh, she's an old lady, they should wait for her and stuff like that. So they waited for like so long, and then she found her way back. So I was like, man, that's an old lady, me, therefore don't leave me. Therefore don't leave me since. So it was crazy, but as I almost got lost, basically, I almost got stranded, or almost got left behind on my way to Moscow. So the next thing that happened was good. Was getting lost in Moscow. So basically all these other things happened during the trip. So now I'm finally in Moscow, I got to Moscow safely, and the lady that helped me before, she was very kind. She was like also the one that helped me call my brother when I got to Moscow because okay, yeah, that's true. And because she was even lent me her phone charger because my phone.
Jesus.
Okay, so the next thing that happened on the trip was
child. Anyway, so
my phone charger spoiled mid-trip. My phone charger just like decided, yeah, I'm not going to trip with you anymore. You're your own. Peace out. And I was like, what do I do? This is like ours journey. What am I going to do? My phone is going to run down. I need to film like content for like you guys. I'm like, what do I do? My charger is dead and my phone battery will obviously run down eventually. But good news was the lady that I gave my number to previously, she just, so conveniently had to be friendly and had to be using an iPhone. Like, guys, this life is not a coincidence, bruh. And she was so nice. Like, the lady was so nice. Like, she's a Ukrainian. She's so nice. It was like, I think we're the only two foreigners in the bus. Me as an African and she as a Ukrainian, and the rest were Russians. This lady helped me. Like, she gave me her phone charger. She told me use it. Like, when you're done using it, like, she will take it back. She didn't like, oh, you have 5 minutes, something like that. No, she allowed me to use her phone charger. She was so nice. Like, allowed me to use her phone charger. She was even the one that called my brother when I got to Moscow because my phone was like low and I didn't have internet because my SIM card was not working outside of Crimea, right? And I hadn't gotten a new SIM card yet. So I didn't have any way of contacting my brother. So she was the one that contacted my brother for me. Man, it was crazy. Like, I'm just really, really thankful for her. Like, it was that happened. Just thank God, basically. Like, so all this happened during the trip to Moscow. I was, I finally got to Moscow, and I thought that was it. Now I'm in Moscow. It's gonna get better, right? Things are gonna be fine. A big city and all of that. And then the next thing happened. So while I was in Moscow,
don't do it.
While I was in Moscow, that was when the next thing happened, and that was when I went out with my brother. We went somewhere, and then my brother had to work. Right, he works kind of. He has a time he works basically, and when he's free, we tend to go out, right, and explore, have adventures and stuff like that. So one day, the time we went out, we came back kind of like he had to go to work after we were done with our adventure for the day. He had to go to work right after, and it was almost time, so I couldn't have him take me back to the apartment and then return. It's going to like take time, you understand, and I want him to miss his work because of that. So he just explained the road to me, like, okay, you're going to take this bus, stop at this bus station and then come back. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, deep inside I already knew that I was going to get lost. But I still felt like I could take on the challenge, so I decided to take on the challenge. And after me and my brother separated, he went to work, I was on my way back, and the first time in such a place, I was like, okay, you can do this. So as soon as he left and the bus started heading home, for no reason, everything he said just left my head. I could not remember the name of the bus stop, I could remember the direction, and I was in the bus. Okay, I was like, okay, you've got this since here. He told you, think, and then while the bus was going, it announces like bus stops as you pass by them. So it announced a particular bus stop, and I was like, this sounds familiar. Like, I feel like I remember my brother saying something like this while describing the way back home to me. And like things like that, my first instinct is that, oh, stop at this bus stop, at least it's somewhere like you think you remember, right? Maybe from there I can find my way. Oh, big mistake on Cynthia's part. I came down from the bus at that bus stop, and then I'm like, okay, so now I'm here, what next? I couldn't remember. So I decided to do something, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll follow the bus. Like the bus had gone obviously, but I'll walk in the direction of the bus till I see a familiar building or a familiar site. You understand? And I started walking. We were walking. And it was like getting dark. Was it? Oh, I think it was already dark at that moment. A girl in a big city, no man's land, walking alone on it. Light up my story too. I just kept on walking, but something I realized in the journey was that as much as I was like concerned, I wasn't necessarily like anxious. Like I felt peace basically throughout that walk, like because I knew like the Holy Spirit was with me. Like I could feel the presence, because I was not even panicking like left or right. Like I was just calm, even though I didn't know where I was going. I kept on walking, and I got to like branching road. I'm like, okay, this is it. And then the other bus had gone, right? So by grace of God, another bus came by, and then it took one of the roads, and I'm like, who told you my God is not alive? And then I followed the road the bus took, and as I walked, I didn't walk long in that road, and I saw a particular building that me and my brother had visited before, which was close to the apartment, and I'm like, when you walk with God, you don't walk alone, man. And then I walked, and then I traced it, and then put my way back home, basically. Okay, so the last thing that happened was so I got to Moscow, right? My charger had spoiled mid-trip while I was on the bus. So when I got to Moscow, I decided to buy like a new charger, and the charger story itself is long, but let me tell you all of it. So first, I had gone to a store to get like a charger, right? And then in the store they didn't have an original charger. I had planned to buy an original iPhone charger, but the store didn't have an original iPhone charger. They only had like another one, and I was like, my phone was already down, so I needed to charge it ASAP. So I was like, you know what, I'll just get it. So I got it, and obviously it was cheap. And after getting the charger, it was working quite alright. But then I think the next day I went to the mall again, just like exploring, and I found another store that sells an original iPhone charger, and it was quite expensive, but I still got it because I'm like, okay, original iPhone charger will probably last more on my phone. And I got the charger, and it was working quite alright. Although at some point my phone did start glitching. It actually did start glitching, and I thought it was the charger's problem. That was the first reason that made me want to return the charger. And anyway, the second reason, which is kind of like the main reason that made me want to return the charger, was basically my brother told me of another store, which was actually an iPhone store. And then we went in, and then we asked about the same charger, and like original, right? And then they told us, and we asked the price, and the price was literally half the price of what we got at the other store. I was like, what? So obviously, right, I was like, okay, let me go and return the other one ASAP, and then come and get this one. Think it was going to be that easy. So the day I went to return the other one, or the day I planned to go return the charger, my brother was not with me, he had work, so I went alone. And I'm like, obviously I can handle it myself, right? It's just a return charger, right? I still had the receipts, I still had, everything, the case. I just got it 2 days ago, or even not like a day ago. So I went to the store. The store, I'll include the name. The name is called M Video, because you guys, I'm coming for you. I went to this M Video store, and I told them, okay, so this phone, I had to come with a reason, right? So I said them, okay, the charger was actually glitching on my phone. Perhaps it's not compatible. They were like, oh, it's an original, you should be fine. I'm like, regardless, I don't want it. I have the receipts, I have the card, the box, I have everything. Take your charger back, give me my money. These people tell me they will not use the charger from you. They say, because it doesn't have an actual problem, they cannot take it back. The person that I first met was actually about to return it for me, and then the so-called supervisor came suddenly, and I was like, oh, what's up? And then he told me, okay, I want to turn the charger, and he was about to do that there's no problem. He said, no, wait. He now asked me to check the charger in his front. As I checked the charger, the glitch that I was seeing before disappeared. It was like, there's no problem, that I can't return the charger if there's no actual problem, that I cannot just return it because I want to. I'm like, when did that policy start? Is it not when you have your receipt and you have your box that you can return items? These people did not collect charger from my hand though. They say, because I've already opened it. Hey, come and say excuse. Obviously, when you buy a product, don't you open it? You see, because I've already opened it, they cannot return it. And I'm like, what do you mean I've already opened it? They were like, there's one green slip, one green nylon, one green plastic that comes out from the box when you open it. I open my bag, I say, look at this plastic, people should go and take it back. Just give me my money. These people say no, do not give me. That I don't have an actual reason. When I have an actual reason to return it, when it actually like spoils or something, I should bring it back. I'm like, are these people actually serious right now? I mean, okay, I understand that, okay, truly you have to have a good reason, but still, aside from that, don't the policy also include you, as long as you bring all the items back intact, you get to return your item? That is not collect my item, the charger back. Oh. I had to use it like that, because obviously I cannot go and pay extra 1K again to buy the other one, like it won't make sense. So I took it like that, and that was the end of that story. Although the guy, that supervisor, was actually rude. Like, he didn't seem like someone, the way he was telling me about like, oh, how I can't return and stuff, he sounded like very, very like rude. He sounded like he didn't even give like a coin, a dime about like me. Like, you could tell that he was even irritated by me. Like, I was getting that vibe, and it was just bad. Anyway, I left the place, and I had planned to go to another like of their location, like another of their store branch, another of their branch, and return it there. But I just thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Let's just leave it. It's fine. The charger is working. If anything happens to the charger along the way, I will go and try to return it. But I just left standards. I use the charger like that. I mean, I'm still using it now. It's still working fine. Thank God. But if it's charger as much as do any kill, Lord of mercy, I'm going straight to any branch. Probably if they have branch here in Crimea, and maybe try to return it or something. But that they did me like that. They did me dirty. But that envy the supervisor. Don't let me catch you outside. You don't let me catch you outside.
If they burn you, you should come outside. You don't die.
Okay, mark my words. Anyway, so that was that. So if that's the bad news, what could I say is the good news? I guess I still have a working charger, and I mean, and it's an original. I don't know. Maybe it will last probably more than the iPhone 1 would have lasted. I don't know, but I guess I'm still here to find out the good news of that. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the last story about the things that happened. There are probably some other things that I don't remember, but this is just going to be for the video because I talked so much and the video is probably long already, I know. But so I'm going to close out the video here, and hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like, sit down and, you know, talk, or basically story time videos like this, let me know down in the comments. And, you know, obviously I'm going to get to it because you guys asked for it. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Adios, amigos. That's Narviata. Bye, guys. Peace.